All right, let's see how the on-off function on this dual action works. Like most autos, you want to start with the spring in the relaxed state. Something I like to do on knives that I really just only kind of want to assemble one side, but the pivot doesn't really want to allow me to do that, is I will flip the pivot around before I take anything else apart. A lot of the times, if you pull it out and drop it right back in, you won't have to finagle the blade back into position. Now, should be able to pull off this top scale and show you what's going on. You have to bear with me. I've only taken this thing apart one other time. It always kind of intimidated me. And then Bill Touch stopped by the house one day and I was telling him about it and showing it to him. And I was like, yeah, it always kind of, I haven't taken it apart. And he basically laughed at me until I would take it apart, since he was sitting there to help me make sure I was able to get it back together. He knew between the two of us we'd be able to figure it out. I think he may have also been just super curious exactly how the heck Butch did this. I believe I only had to pull, yes. Very, very cool. So, you've got your button mounted on a big spring tab here, held in with that screw there. Nothing too crazy there. Here is where the magic happens. That is the fulcrum I was talking about in the last video. And focus. When you do your quarter turn, whoops, drop my screwdriver. When you do your quarter turn, you move that fulcrum out of the way, and it doesn't give the spring anything to react against. There's your sear up here, and you can see where that pin was pressed into the spring, and that pin is the only thing sticking through into the blade channel that actually clues you into this. This might be an auto. So, like the instructions say, you have to push the button enough to move the sear out of the way, and then when you rotate this, it pushes the spring back up into the auto position and then gives it a fulcrum to flex against. Really, really cool. So I'm actually not going to put this one back together on video. I'm going to clean this and throw some Loctite on it. So I've had issues with that screw slipping when I go to turn the auto function on and off. That's why I didn't show it on camera last time. So I'm going to give this a full tear down and clean and lube and Loctite and get it all dialed in before I throw it back into the collection. But yeah, that is how Butch did the on-off functionality on the 1995 Soldier of Fortune knives. The only mechanism I've ever seen, the only knife I've ever seen this mechanism used on. Really, really cool piece of history. So there you go. I hope you guys have a good day, and I will catch you tomorrow.